Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and is finally recovered from his jet lag. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs. That's right, I am back last week, or early this week, from Taipei, Taiwan, trip number 2 this year, actually, there. And this was for the camo show. And if you guys have been watching the channel, you've been seeing the videos already coming out from there and from the places I visited. And there are so many more on the way, so stay tuned. Think of it like SHOT Show in the United States, but with all the cool stuff you can't get in North America sometimes. So it's all the vendors that are from Taiwan and many actually there from Hong Kong as well. So you're getting pretty much everybody over there. It's kind of a really cool thing. Trust me when I say this, there's some really cool stuff, including new releases I'm going to be showing you guys from a lot of big companies, including I got some product reviews even that come from there too. Anyway, I digress on that, so just stay on the channel. In fact, I'll get a playlist for you guys so you can watch that. I'll just put it over here in the corner and I'll add to it, and that way you can just click on it whenever it happens and watch it. Also, real quick before we get into questions this week, I am going to be heading to an event. This is actually, I'm traveling so much. Like usually summer's quiet, but this summer's crazy. I'm going to High Ground Airsoft's big Airsoft Palooza. It's going to be on July the 8th. That is a Saturday. It's going to be in Houston, Texas at High Ground Airsoft. And I'm going to be there with a ton of other Airsoft YouTubers and of course the vendors and the companies, and it's going to be a fun day of Airsoft. So if you guys are remotely close to Houston, come on over, check it out, come on in, I'll be there, I'd love to meet you, chat with you and all that stuff, and who knows, I might even like shoot an impromptu Mondays from there and we can ask questions live, who knows, we'll try it. Maybe we'll do that. Anyway, guys, we're going to jump into questions, but don't forget, if you guys are new here, if you don't know how it works, put your question in the comment section below, vote up your favorites, and I'll get them on the next show. I do read every question every week before the next show, and I try to pick the best ones that have been voted up, and then ones I also think are really good. So enough of that, let's jump on in to what you're really here for, and that's your questions in the Tippmann mail call. Graham Smout has a big one here for us. Hey John, got a serious question for you. I'm kind of burned out on Airsoft. I was once so into it, owned about $2,000 worth of gear, and I promised myself I would never sell it. I found myself not interested in the YouTube videos, and I don't even bother to check if there are any games being played. I did just move to a place where there isn't much interest, and the field isn't really for me. But I could go on, but have you ever found yourself in my spot before, and how did you get out of it? Yes, it is true. I will answer your question very quickly here in the front. I have been in some Airsoft funks before where I have just kind of been like, I'm burnt out. I'm really burnt out. I can't do this. You know, and don't get me wrong. I love doing the YouTube part. I will never get burnt out on that. But actually going out and playing in games and events, I have been there, man. I have absolutely been there. For me, I think it's repetition, it's boredom, it's not getting the playstyle you like. So what worked for me in some of these cases, and I'm going to go way back to in Nashville, Tennessee. I love Bad Karma Airsoft, so much fun, fantastic field, but I did get bored of playing the same field. I mean, it's the field I played on for years and years and years. So I started hosting my own games there, actually doing that, taking the initiative, and that really changed things up. It allowed me to be a part of Airsoft in a different way, and seeing some new game styles and trying them out and experimenting to see what worked, and then using those. Being on the flip side, those being adopted by other people that were helping running games, and then I get to enjoy them because they're brand new. That was one thing I did. I think the other thing too is if you don't have the opportunity to do that, like your local field's maybe not as receptive or they kind of have their own play styles, maybe make your own mini game. Kind of what I did too is throw a little wrench in there. Go, okay, well I have to get half my kills with the sidearm, or every time I kill somebody with my AAG, then I got to switch to my pistol and I got to get a kill with it before I can switch back to my AAG. I would do things like that to challenge myself, or try to play with my teammates or friends. Say, okay, we're going to do a challenge of the day. You've got to be able to get a shot that's over 150 feet, and then a pistol kill that's within 20 feet, but not involving med, and then a knife kill. And you got to do all that in a game or a day or something like that. So kind of like achievements or challenges like you'd find in Modern Warfare or Battlefield or something like that. Those have all worked for me as tricks, just to kind of be creative and put a little spice back in the game, whether you have the option to do one and truly affect the game style, or two, just kind of make your own little challenges within the game to keep things fun. Lewis Bell writes, hey John, love the show. Just wanted to know which MilSim company is the best to start out with MilSim. An example, would you rather start with American MilSim or MilSim West? Thanks. So I will say this, I wouldn't jump right on into MilSim West unless you probably have some serious camping and maybe some military experience or some good airsoft experience. I'm not saying you don't have to be military experienced to go into that. It's just pretty hardcore when it comes to MilSim. And good, I love it. I think it's a fantastic platform. But for someone who's new to MilSim, I would ease into it and go to something much more attainable. Out of those two, definitely American MilSim. They put on a fantastic game, very easy to get to, very approachable. Some people have had, I used to do Line Claws. That was kind of my first, Operation Irene was my first MilSim, so that was it. But we're talking like 8-10 years ago now, was my first one. But I would also recommend this. If you guys are anywhere near the Colorado area or following that, JTAC MilSim, I just went to their event a couple weeks ago, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and was really surprised with the caliber of MilSim event they were putting on at that level. And they are kind of the sleeper MilSim company, I think, right now in the United States. And if you want to kind of experience something where the price is still very affordable, but you're getting that full flavored MilSim, something very akin to American MilSim, check those guys out too. I think you can ease in with a really good price point and still have a fantastic time. In fact, it's the most fun I've had playing Airsoft in a very long time at that event. The player base, everything there, I could go on. But anyway, yeah, check all them out. I mean, none of these people are telling me or paying me or anything like that to tell you which one's the best. It's just my personal opinion. Once you've done it for a while and you want to graduate up, definitely jump into MilSim West. I think that'll be a great challenge for you if you kind of get a little tired of the run-of-the-mill stuff. LeBon Anderson writes, how many times a year do you play Airsoft games? Is it like once a week, once a month, or something else? You know, it really depends on the time of the year. Summertime is my low time because it's just so hot outside, also with travel and things like that. But it also depends on my travel schedule. Like, for example, I just got back from Taiwan. I also had 2 events, 2 games before that, played a MilSim event, and then I've got 2 more coming up in July. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I do have the one game in Houston, the High Ground Airsoft. I'll be going to that, and then on 2 weeks after that, I have another one I'll be heading to as well. That'll be at Buffalo Battleground. I'm gonna try to get out and play a little bit at those. So those are really what I do from a play standpoint. It ends up kind of working out for my travel. I do not play as much as I used to, unfortunately. I used to play every weekend or at least 2 to 3 weekends a month. Now it seems to be like every other weekend in the peak seasons, and then in the really slow times, maybe once a month, getting in some MilSims in. So I'd say an average year, 20, 30 times probably I get out and play Airsoft. So I still say I'm pretty darn active in the hobby and the sport, but not every single weekend, which I wish I could, because unfortunately, this is my job right here, what I do with you guys. And it does take up a ton of my time, which I love doing. I really, really love it. And so I spend a lot of time here with the camera and of course in the computer right behind me. This is actually where I edit. I mean, you guys are seeing, this is my desk. This is my world. And my laptop is kind of right here behind you see it right there. It's a razor blade. And that's where I do all my work. That's it. So between all that, it does occupy quite a bit of my time. So getting out as much as I used to is not really the same. But like I said, I do get out quite a bit and still enjoy a great game of Airsoft whenever I can. Sariento writes, hey Jonathan, what are your thoughts on the use of helicopters in Airsoft? Do you think it's a good idea or a complete waste of money? Thanks. All right, as someone who's actually flown in a helicopter, actually quite a few different times at Airsoft game at American MilSim Operation Broken Home, I will tell you this, it is an absolute game changer. I know I've mentioned this before, it might have been a while if you guys are new to this, the BBs do fly straight out. You would think they'd hit the propeller and, like the air would knock them down. Nope, they go out. In fact, you have to lead your target instead of trailing your target. Actually, no, you trail your target instead of leading it, because if you're moving forward, you want to shoot behind them so your BBs kind of walk in on the shot. You can actually see them. It is cool. It is absolutely the neatest thing, and it is a big dynamic, because when you're playing, it's usually you guys on the ground and you're playing the chess match, right? Moving, laterally and maybe a little bit of elevation, like second story of buildings. So when a helicopter flies over and you've got this fantastic cover, this wall between you, you're holding your position, no roof above you, and then you're getting plastic doom rain down on your head, it is an absolute game changer, and I've been very successful using it to my advantage. In fact, communicating with my team, telling the helicopter pilot where to fly so I can support them on an assault. It has been highly effective if you do it in that combination. It's just fun if you fly around without that, but if you do coordinate, it can be absolutely devastating for the opposing team. So for me, I love the idea, and that's what you're talking about. If you're talking about drones, I'll cover drones in another topic, because I actually got a vlog coming where I used a drone in a game, and I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Super cool. But as for helicopters, like legit ones, yes, I would love to see it more in MilSim games, for sure. All right, that's it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week, and this one goes out to a channel that I really feel terrible because I haven't shouted these guys out, I don't think ever. And I'm a terrible, horrible human being because they run a great channel. It is Eric and Andre over at Gun Gamers. You guys haven't checked their channel out. They're putting up content very regularly. I think they don't have that many subscribers. I think it's like 4,000 or something. They are the most underappreciated channel that I know of right now in Airsoft that really should have a ton more subs than they do. They do a lot of like controversial topics or discuss things. In fact, the video I'm showing you here is about SpeedSim and why there are not more competitive Speedsoft games, which there was for a little while, like the Association of Competitive Airsoft, and then it came and went, and why are there not more? And they really cover it. They do bring different perspectives. Now, there's more than just those two. There's actually a couple other guys behind the scenes as well. They bring a lot of knowledge, like between actually going out and playing MilSim events, and then of course, you know, like that's or Eric Speed and going out to bigger events. Then you've got Andre, who's really in like the Speed QB kind of scene that. So there's a lot of different perspectives, and that's why I really enjoy this channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, and especially if you watch Mondays here and you like to learn, if you're watching here, you're really gonna like Gun Gamers. I'm not gonna lie. And they do mix some video game in there a little bit here and there as well. So go check them out. Of course, as always, I have a link to their channel in the description below, and you can always click over here in the corner too and watch them. And when you get over there, you hit the sub button. If you like what you see, definitely do that, and then let them know I sent you over there. All right, that is it for this week's Airsoftology Q&A show here on Monday, and we're back in our regularly scheduled program, back from traveling and full of good stuff. Also, stay tuned. Remember, in July, I know I mentioned earlier, July, the weekly vlog starts for real. I've got I got some in the hopper. They're coming. And stay tuned to the channel. I've got a ton of videos, and if you guys don't already do it, down there by that sub button, if you guys have already mashed it, there's a little bell button for notifications. Definitely hit that. It'll let you know when the videos pop up. I love my notification squad. I love you guys that are out there. I'm always like, hey, what's up, notification squad? Every time I post, it's just like, you guys just like are on it. It's crazy. And if you guys want to be in the loop like that and see all this stuff when it's fresh and new, hit that bell button, hit that notification, and that way your phone will go crazy, your desktop will go crazy, let you know when I'm doing it. I don't post late at night, insane, so it's not going to bother you, wake you up out of your sleep. Anyway, enough of me yapping. Thanks again for hanging out, and of course, put your questions down there. But until next week, go out, have some fun, play some Airsoft. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.